Truth is like the soft hum of a well-tuned instrument, always resonating with harmony and clarity. Lies, on the other hand, are like dissonant notes, hidden amidst the music but still capable of being detected by the attentive ear. There is a Zen saying, a lie, no matter how carefully crafted, always leaves 3 fingerprints upon its path. These fingerprints, subtle but unmistakable, are the betrayers of deceit, the small clues that reveal the truth to those who are mindful and present. This teaching is not merely a tool for uncovering dishonesty but a profound reflection on human nature. Lies arise from fear, greed, or delusion, but truth, like a river, flows naturally, effortlessly. In understanding how to recognize deception, we also uncover the ways in which we deceive ourselves. Thus, this story is not only about catching a liar but also about recognizing and overcoming the lies within our own hearts. Once, there was a humble monk who lived a life of quiet meditation and teaching. His wisdom was sought by many, but he had one peculiar skill: he could detect lies with remarkable precision. When asked how he managed this, he would smile and say, "A liar can be caught by only 3 small signs. If you observe closely, the truth will always reveal itself." One day, a young traveler, burdened by guilt, approached the monk. This traveler had a reputation for deceit. But his lies were so cleverly constructed that no one could expose them. He sought the monk not for guidance, but to test him. "I have heard," said the traveler with a sly smile, "that you can catch a liar with 3 signs. Is that true?" The monk, with a serene gaze, replied, "Yes, but it is not my skill. Truth reveals itself. Lies are like ripples in a still pond, they disturb the natural order. Tell me your story, and let us see if the ripples appear." The traveler hesitated, but his pride compelled him. He began weaving a tale of great heroism, claiming that he had saved a village from a terrible storm. His words were vivid and convincing, yet the monk remained silent, listening with calm attention. First sign: the inconsistency of words. As the traveler spoke, the monk noticed the first sign. The story, though compelling, was laced with subtle contradictions. The traveler claimed to have braved the storm alone, yet later mentioned the help of others. He described the storm as ferocious but spoke of minor injuries as though they were nothing. The monk interrupted gently, "Your story is impressive, but I am curious. Earlier, you said you were alone, yet now you mention companions. How do these 2 truths align?" The traveler faltered for a moment but quickly recovered. "Ah, I meant that I was alone at first, and then they joined me later." The monk nodded, his expression unchanged. "I see. Please, continue." The first sign of a lie is inconsistency. Words, when they are truthful, align seamlessly. But lies, being unnatural, often leave gaps and contradictions. The monk knew that the truth does not require patchwork, it is whole and self-sustaining. Second sign: the overcompensation of details. As the traveler continued, the monk observed the second sign. The story became increasingly elaborate, filled with unnecessary details. The traveler described the color of the storm clouds, the exact number of trees that fell, and the texture of the mud under his feet. "Why do you recall so many details?" the monk asked softly. The traveler, caught off guard, replied, "I have a sharp memory. It is my nature to remember everything." The monk smiled but said nothing. He knew that overcompensation is a common sign of deception. A liar, fearing disbelief, often adds excessive details to lend credibility to their story. Truth, on the other hand, is simple and does not need embellishment. Third sign, the disharmony of body and mind. As the traveler finished his tale, the monk noticed the third and final sign. The traveler's body betrayed him. His hands fidgeted, his eyes darted nervously, and his voice wavered ever so slightly. "Your story is remarkable," the monk said. "But may I ask why you seem uneasy?" The traveler stiffened. "Uneasy? I am not uneasy. I am merely tired from my journey." The monk's gaze softened. "Perhaps. But your body speaks a language your words cannot. It trembles under the weight of something unspoken." The third sign of a lie is the disharmony between body and mind. Truth flows naturally, it aligns thoughts, words, and actions. Lies create tension, a struggle within the self that manifests physically. The body, untrained in deceit, often reveals what the mind wishes to conceal. The traveler, realizing he had been caught, fell to his knees. "You are right, Venerable One. My story is false. I did not save anyone. I have lied all my life, weaving tales to earn respect and admiration. But how did you see through me so easily?" The monk placed a hand on the traveler's shoulder. Truth is not a matter of skill, it is a matter of presence. Lies cannot withstand the light of awareness. They crumble under scrutiny because they are built on the unstable ground of illusion. The three signs you revealed, your inconsistent words, your excessive details, and the disharmony of your body, are the fingerprints of falsehood. The traveler bowed his head, ashamed but also relieved. "I see now that my lies have only brought me suffering. How can I live truthfully?" The monk smiled gently. "Begin by being honest with yourself. Lies are born from fear, fear of rejection, failure, or inadequacy. Face these fears with courage. When you accept yourself as you are, there will be no need for deceit. Remember, truth is like a river. It flows naturally, effortlessly. Let go of the rocks of fear and ego, and you will find yourself carried by its current." The teaching, a reflection on truth and lies. This story is not just about catching a liar, it is about understanding the nature of truth and deception. Lies are not merely words, they are manifestations of inner turmoil. To recognize deceit in others, one must first recognize it within oneself. The three signs: inconsistency, overcompensation, and disharmony, are not tools for judgment but for awareness. They remind us to look beyond words and observe the whole being. In doing so, we cultivate mindfulness, a state of presence that illuminates the truth, but the deeper lesson lies in the traveler's transformation. His journey from deception to honesty reflects our own potential for growth. We all carry fears and insecurities that tempt us to stray from the truth. Yet, by facing these fears with compassion and courage, we can align our words, actions, and intentions, creating a life of authenticity and peace. Embracing truth as a way of being. The teachings of the monk offer more than just a way to detect lies, they provide a profound invitation to reflect on the nature of truth and its role in our lives. Truth is not merely an abstract ideal, it is the foundation of harmony, the anchor that keeps us grounded amid the chaos of existence. To live truthfully is not simply to avoid falsehoods but to embody authenticity in every thought, word, and action. The three signs of a liar, inconsistency, overcompensation, and disharmony, are more than external cues. They are also mirrors that reflect our own inner struggles. How often do we find ourselves inconsistent in our values? How frequently do we exaggerate or embellish to impress others? How many times do we feel a disconnect between what we say and how we feel? These questions are uncomfortable but necessary. They guide us toward greater self-awareness. The first step in transcending the illusions we create. 1. The ripple of inconsistency. Inconsistency arises when our words do not align with our deeper truth. It reflects an inner conflict, a gap between who we are and who we wish to appear. This is not limited to deliberate lies. It can manifest in the subtle ways we betray ourselves, pretending to be happy when we are not, agreeing with others to avoid conflict, or pursuing goals that do not resonate with our true desires. The monk's teaching reminds us that truth is consistent because it flows naturally. When we align with our authentic selves, we experience clarity and coherence. This alignment requires mindfulness, an honest awareness of our thoughts and emotions. Through meditation and introspection, we learn to bridge the gap between our inner truth and our outer expression. 2. The weight of overcompensating. Overcompensation is a defense mechanism rooted in insecurity. When we feel inadequate or fear rejection, we seek to overprove ourselves. This need for validation often leads to exaggeration, complicating the simplicity of truth, but truth does not demand excessive explanation. It stands firm in its simplicity, unshaken by doubt. The monk's gentle questioning of the traveler highlights the importance of returning to this simplicity. By letting go of the need to prove ourselves, we cultivate a sense of inner sufficiency. We learn that we are enough as we are, without the need for embellishment. Practicing truth in this sense requires humility, the willingness to let go of the ego's need for recognition and accept our imperfections. When we do so, we find freedom in authenticity, a freedom that brings peace to ourselves and those around us. 3. The disharmony of body and mind. The body is an honest companion, often revealing what the mind seeks to hide. When we lie, our bodies betray us because they cannot harmonize with the falsehood. The tension of deceit creates physical unease, a trembling voice, fidgeting hands, or avoiding eye contact. This disharmony reflects the deeper truth that lying separates us from ourselves. Every falsehood we tell is a fracture in our integrity, a disruption of the inner peace that comes from living authentically. The traveler's unease was not just the fear of being caught, it was the natural discomfort of acting against his true nature. To live truthfully, we must strive for harmony between our thoughts, words, and actions. This requires constant practice, for the world often tempts us toward deceit. Yet, with mindfulness, we can cultivate this harmony, creating a life that resonates with peace and sincerity. The broader implications of truth. The monk's teaching also extends beyond individual practice, offering wisdom for relationships and communities. Truth is the foundation of trust, and trust is the cornerstone of meaningful connections. When we lie, we not only harm ourselves but also disrupt the bonds we share with others. Reflect on the relationships in your life. Are they built on honesty, or are they weighed down by unspoken truths and hidden motives? The practice of truth requires courage, especially in relationships, but it is through this courage that true connection is forged. Moreover, the monk's teaching calls for compassion in recognizing deceit. The traveler's lies were born not of malice but of insecurity and fear. Similarly, when we encounter lies in others, we are reminded to approach them with understanding. Deception often masks deeper wounds, and by addressing those wounds with kindness, we help others find their way back to truth. Truth and the self. Perhaps the most profound aspect of the teaching lies in its application to the self. We are often our own greatest deceivers, constructing narratives to avoid confronting uncomfortable truths about who we are. We tell ourselves stories to justify our actions, hide our insecurities, or escape our fears. The monk's wisdom invites us to dismantle these illusions. By observing the inconsistencies, overcompensations, and disharmonies within ourselves, we uncover the lies we live by. This is not a process of judgment but of liberation. When we face the truth of who we are, we free ourselves from the weight of pretense and step into the light of authenticity. The spiritual dimension of truth. In Zen and Buddhist philosophy, truth is not merely a moral principle but a spiritual practice. The Buddha taught that liberation comes from seeing things as they truly are, free from illusion, attachment, and aversion. Truth, in this sense, is the path to awakening. The practice of truth requires mindfulness, patience, and compassion. It is not about perfection but about progress, a journey of becoming more honest with ourselves and others. As we walk this path, we discover that truth is not a destination but a way of being. It is a state of alignment with the present moment, a surrender to the flow of life as it is. Living the truth. The teaching, "A liar can be caught by only 3 small signs," is not simply about identifying lies but about understanding the deeper nature of truth. Truth is not something we impose or control, it is something we embody. It is the silent strength that arises from living in harmony with ourselves and the world around us. Let us, then, take the monk's wisdom to heart. Let us cultivate mindfulness to recognize the signs of deceit, both in others and within ourselves. Let us practice compassion, understanding that lies are born from suffering and fear. And let us strive for authenticity, embracing the courage to live truthfully, no matter how vulnerable it makes us feel, for in truth, we find freedom. In truth, we find peace. And in truth, we discover the boundless nature of our own being. Thanks for watching. Hope enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Just click the subscribe button below and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Also, feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you'd like to see next. See you in the next video.